I want to welcome the GMs and the wives, the godly men and the warm, inviting, feminine, empathetic women out there. There is so much pressure on today's men to perform and to be exceptional in everything that they do, else they're not even going to get a quote unquote chance with the women around or whatever job or career, whatnot. But I say unto you, men that are actually doing the work, that are putting in the effort, not just in yourself and in your endeavors, but to really be the person that you were born to be, you're in a whole different bracket than these other guys. And I'm not trying to say that these men that are they're average, okay? I'm not going to try to and it's not a bad thing to be average, right? Like there's this such a negative connotation that is tagged along with the word average, but to be average really isn't a bad thing. You're average. You're just like most people. And that's not a bad thing, but everybody wants to be extraordinary. Everybody wants to be special. And we all ought to have the opportunity, if we do the work, to find and create that special relationship or that special career, that special life in general. But it's also going to be something that is not going to be falling into your lap anytime soon. You have to work at it. You have to create it. But to all of the men out there that are really putting in effort to be a different version and a different caliber of man, don't settle and get the idea that you're getting a chance with women out of your head. That's not an alpha thing to do. And I don't like using the term necessarily alpha and beta, but they're the most practical terms for this kind of topic here. And I'm not trying to speak on platitudes of discourse. I'm simply articulating what I see to be the events that are unfolding before us, because there's so much pressure on men and there's hardly any pressure on women to be the women that they're meant to be. Women have no pressure to be good wives anymore, because it's almost like women see marriage as a career at this point. They see marriage as something that they can just switch up if they want to down the line because there's more opportunity. And it's not that there's a bad thing when it comes to opportunity. Like, opportunity is a really good thing. I believe everybody ought to have equal opportunity. But just because you have equal opportunity does not mean that you're going to have the outcome that is going to be equated with everybody else. You might be the hardest worker at whatever job you are, or in your relationships. You might be really attentive. You might be really passionate, and you might not get that reciprocated back to you. Well, are you working hard or are you working smart? And a lot of the times the men out here, they see a beautiful woman or a beautiful woman or just beautiful women in general, and they just watch her walk past while drool just hangs off of his lips. And it's just so funny to see some of these guys that have no control over their lust whatsoever, and they get completely blinded by their lust because they're so infatuated with the beauty of a woman. But for all of us, beauty fades. Beauty fades for everybody, whether you're male or female. And this is something that we have to simply come to terms with. But some people are going to be able to take care of themselves for longer durations of time than others. And this is not to say that a woman in her 30s or 40s cannot be attractive. There are very many attractive women that are in their 30s and 40s. But would I ever want to be married to one of those ladies? Not right. No, not even a bit. Not right now. Probably not later. And it's because you see, men, if you are somebody that has put in the time, effort, etc., to improve their lives, you've gotten to a certain point and you're not delusional about reality because there's a lot of women that are delusional about what they think that they deserve in regard to standards, and it's preposterous to listen to sometimes. But men are, at least for the most part, they understand what it takes. They just, sometimes they don't want to do the work, sometimes they do. And the ones that do the work, they're the ones that are not even in the same bracket as these other guys. And you're the guy that keeps it 100% real, authentic, and direct with women. Women love being not necessarily told what to do, but they like being guided by a man that they respect. Well, how do you be a man that that a woman respects? You'd be surprised by how much your appeal, sexually speaking, is going to play a factor in how much they respect you. Because and don't get this twisted either, because a man's attractiveness, a man might look objectively attractive, but the guy that looks kind of average might be able to be capable of being more attractive to women. Why? It's not just because he has a mouthpiece, but because that might be the case, but it also could be just the way he carries himself. It could be the way that he may not have the looks face-wise, but his body is really good. And the other guy might be, he might look like Brad Pitt or Tom Cruise or whoever you want as a celebrity. He might look like those kinds of persons, but inside, he's got the intelligence and the emotional stimulation of a plant. He's just a plant. He could be a cactus. Like, he just repels people that get close to him because all he does is he's got prickly edges, and he's really prickly, and he's not wiggly, right? Kind of using what you would call, I guess, Alan Watts' terminology there with being prickly and wiggly in the universe. But even though I'm not necessarily a follower of Alan Watts, but I do know his work pretty well. And anyway, this guy is prickly. He is prickly in his nature. He is not wiggly, whereas the guy that's maybe more average looking, but he's more wiggly, and he can emotionally stimulate the women that he's around. He can get their imagination going. This is what's going to be most attractive to women. Women want to feel alive. That's like, they just want to feel something. And if you can make her feel something, that's going to be enough for her to want to stick around. Because why do you think otherwise that there's all these men that are either just getting out of jail, or they come home and they still have that loyal woman at home? Like, why is that woman loyal to the guy that's a criminal? Why is that the case? Well, it's because he provides some kind of form of protection and excitement that the other guys don't. And so you might be a guy that's in this top bracket of good-looking men, but if you don't provide some kind of excitement to her life, and it doesn't have to be materialistic, because there has been some women that have made it very clear to me that they do not want to date me. They just want to they just want to get it on. And I'm not about that, which is really interesting, because it seems like there is this kind of bad boy persona nowadays that comes along with somebody that has values and virtues. It's almost like a man that doesn't take shit from anybody, that is assertive, that is confident, that knows what he wants and goes after it, but is also upstanding in his moral judgment and his moral values. All of a sudden, he's like the bad boy that every woman wants to, like every bad woman, let's say, wants to corrupt or wants to just have fun with. And all the good women, they want him to marry. Like, I've had women that they've wanted to be with me long term, but I didn't want to be with them long term. And I've had women where specifically over the past couple of years, because I used to be fat and lazy, and I didn't have my money on point. I didn't have my spirituality on point. I didn't know who really I was years ago. And I took a long time to figure it out. And there's a quote, right, that says that from Jordan Peterson. He says, women know what they have to do. Men have to figure it out. And that's exactly what I resonated with that a lot, because I had to really figure it out. I had to really figure out what I really wanted to do and why I wanted to do it. And this just goes to show the power that there is in getting your life together and in order. Because if you start to become the man that is attractive, that does kind of have that bad boy like persona, even though he's not, but he's capable of danger, and he's not in danger, he is the danger, but he's kind and he's considerate. Like, women want the asshole that's kind to them, right? Women want the I don't know how much profanity of use of words I want to use here, but they want the asshole that is kind to them, because they just, sometimes women just want that energy that she can be put in her place, but she has to be put in her place by a man that she respects. And the easiest way to get a woman's respect, at least in my experience, is just being healthy and taking care of yourself. You don't have to be the next Mr. Olympia or anything like that, but just being in a healthy state of mind, having a good attitude, not complaining, just being calm, cool, collected, and relaxed. You're not really looking for anything to go anywhere specifically. You're just kind of seeing where things go. All of a sudden, every woman wants you. It's really funny, because I wonder sometimes why it's the case that when I care the least, that's when I get the most. Because other times when I care a lot, it's almost like there's little to no investment, return on investment. But if I care a little bit, all of a sudden people just want to be the person that can open you up, like Pandora's box or something. And so if you're not really a talker, you're kind of an introvert, that's okay too. All you have to do is get a woman to talk about herself. Ask questions about her, what she likes to do. Honestly, like, in all honesty, sometimes the less you say about yourself, the better. And if you do say stuff about yourself, just say who you are, be who you are. Because all you have to do as a man is just be who you are, and that's going to be enough. It really is. That's it. There really is no big secret. All you have to do is be chill and be yourself, be able to carry a conversation if you need to. But if not, silence is good too. It's really not as complex as we want to make it out to be. But if you are aware of this, this is why you're going to be in a completely different bracket than the other guys. I hope this message was useful and insightful. And until next time, peace be with you.